We almost didn't make it on this project.
We've spent the last 3 months building a tiny house in our front yard. Let the countdown begin. And now it's time to tackle the most challenging part of the project, preparing a build site and moving it into place. As usual, plans A, B, and C don't really go as planned.
I think we're gonna need some bigger equipment.
With the interior completely built out, we're very nervous about what's going to happen as we hoist this 12,000 pound tiny home 40 feet into the air. Worst case scenario, the tiny house flips upside down and lands on its lid and everything's destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Right on the edge.
No freaking way.
That wasn't as successful as I had hoped it would be. I think I have a plan for where this is gonna go and how the foundation's gonna work, but let's make sure the skid steer can lift it, because if the skid steer can lift it, I know the excavator can lift it.
You have a nervous look on your face. And more importantly, can it lift this side, because this is the side where all the batteries are.
Woo!
It won't lift more. So I picked it up, but I can't get it to pick it up more.
That wasn't as successful as I had hoped it would be. I think we're gonna need some bigger equipment.
We're gonna put the container right here. It's easy to tie the septic into. It's got amazing views, and I think Courtney's mom's gonna love this spot. So our goal now in this project is gonna be to create a foundation system to set the container on without disturbing the natural beauty of the area behind me.
Okay, with the laser level set up, it's time now to figure out how much height difference we have between our four corners and where the four corners should go. So we only have 5 inches of height difference from here to there. This is slightly higher. 1.5 feet to there, 5'10".
I have been round and around and around on how we should move this container. I've come up with designs to build an axle that we can slide underneath it so we can put tires under it so we can tow it into place. I've thought about using 2 excavators, I've thought about using a telehandler, I've thought about making a sled that we can slide it on, and every single time I've come back to the same conclusion, which is that we need to use a crane. So that means that we have a crane coming in just 3 days. It's time to get to work. Yeah, that was me. These are left over from Tyler in Charleston. I need to remove this stump because I don't want this stump and these roots rotting underneath our thing. It's definitely cool owning an excavator big enough to just like do stuff. Okay, I think that was probably worth the time and effort to do. The mini excavator was cool in a lot of ways, specifically the air conditioning and the nice cab, and that it never lit on fire. And that like it always worked and you can run it all day long without overheating. But this excavator is cool because you can smash stuff. Owning equipment is fun. I recommend that anyone own equipment. Normally the rocks around here that are that color are like solid ground, will not move. And that one just like, pink. Okay, well, I guess we'll check rock number 2. That is so funny. If you had asked, I would have told you those were straight, solid earth rocks. Okay, well.
All right, I found what I was looking for. Right here is some super hard rock that I don't think I'm gonna be able to move. So this is gonna set the elevation for the rest of this pad. From here out, I'm gonna work on grubbing out all of the topsoil and the roots and the leaves and all the organic matter that could settle, fill back in with some hard, chunky, rocky stuff. Then we're gonna set some foundation blocks. Container sits on top of that. It's lumpy, it is not level, but we have our pad roughed in now. I think it's time to go get some rock. I've got just 2 days left before the crane comes, so I've got to get this tiny house pad prepped. And I'm going to start today by getting all the stumps and roots hauled out of here.
I want this foundation to look natural. I want it to look like there was just this little flat spot here and we just sort of stuck the container back here. I don't want a big concrete thing. And along this cut bank here, I need to stack some rocks like a retaining wall. Down on this low side here, I need to stack a few more rocks. Then we're gonna bring in some fill and try to get this area level out. So let's get to it. I've never built a rock wall before. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm hoping that Chris and I can figure it out. I want that rock to hold that rock in. That way I can scoot that rock up a little bit. Like that. This is a lot harder than it looks. I think I need to get around the other side. I want that rock like up. Don't mess up the moss, Riley. We need to make sure that the rocks on the downhill side of this are lower than where the container's gonna set, so the deck can cantilever out over our rock retaining wall. Okay, cool. It's like 4 inches lower. I think that's gonna be perfect. Now let's just see if I can get it in there without messing up your work. Good enough. Oh my gosh, this is a huge rock. How did I miss this the first time around in here? I don't even know. Oh man, we're picking it up. That is gigantic. I can't believe we're already building a second home on this property. This crazy journey started over 3 years ago when we moved into our home-built truck camper. Since then, we've lived completely off-grid, and during that time, we've tried out a lot of portable power options. You're always asking what my favorite is, and while it really depends on the project, the one I find myself reaching for the most is our EcoFlow Delta Pro. And with that, we'd like to thank EcoFlow for sponsoring today's video. With 3,600 watts of inverter capacity, this Delta Pro is able to power all of my tools. Like seriously, it can power every single tool I own. It has been the backbone of every mobile welding project on the property, and it has saved the day more times than I can count. We relied on this Delta Pro to power our home our entire first winter. The smart features meant that I could monitor and control our power from anywhere in the world. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, EcoFlow came out with their smart generator, which can be auto started and stopped by the Delta Pro. EcoFlow's Prime Day sale is happening right now, and that means that you can get up to 58% off. That's huge savings on all of EcoFlow's products, including $1,500 off the Delta Pro. Maybe you're trying to weld in the middle of the woods like me, or maybe you just want a simple and efficient way to power things when you're camping or the grid goes down. Either way, now is the perfect time because you can save up to $2,899 during the EcoFlow Prime Day promotion. Head to the links in the description below or scan this QR code and use this code for an extra 5% off. And thanks again to EcoFlow for supporting our channel and keeping our projects powered. We got our rock wall done. Now we're going to attempt to get this pad to grade before we add gravel. So Chris has got the grade stick. We've got the laser level going, and we're gonna try our best to get this thing flat. So far, it's been a real challenge with all the rocks though. And I called this morning to get gravel delivered. They said they could come this afternoon, and well, since the truck's here, it must mean it's afternoon now. Now kind of tilt back as you come in. Tilt back. You're just gonna dump a big pile. Perfect. Oh, that's a full load. I can't believe how much progress Chris and I made on this project yesterday. We're very close to being ready to set this tiny house down. We've got rain in the forecast starting about midday today, which means I've got to get this thing finished up before the rain.
If you'd like to get your own cool sweatshirt that doubles as a grease rag, head on over to ambitionstrikes.com. We're gonna call that good for a baseline.
Oh yeah, that's much better. This is my sheep's foot compactor. I think now I need to check grade a little more and try to make sure that it was mostly flat before, but is it still flat now? We're low there, we're on there, we're high here. Woohoo! Oh, that one's perfect. And then it broke. Yesterday I got the details wrapped up on the pad for the tiny house and got these rock walls done. Then I got this nice rock wall done back here and this one below me to make a nice parking space. So basically you're gonna come in from the driveway, pull into a parking space, walk up a little path to the tiny house. And I'm stoked with how these retaining walls turned out. We've just got these natural looking stacked walls. Once we get some grass growing on them, oh man, they're gonna look amazing. Let the countdown begin. Crane day is tomorrow, which means that I have less than 24 hours to get this container ready to move. So today we need to set the waistlines for the toilet, the kitchen sink, the shower, and the bathroom sink. In traditional building, this would have all been done a long time ago. We're gonna be plumbing this more like an RV, where instead of having the plumbing inside of the walls, it's actually gonna be inside the cabinets and hidden in other spaces. We wanted to keep all of the plumbing inside the insulated envelope of this container so that it won't freeze in the wintertime. I got the P-trap all set up and I want our drain plumbing to come right through the bottom of the cabinet right there. Getting started is always the hardest part, so enough staring at this, I'm getting started. Woo!
How's it going?
Dad, what are you two up to?
We're going for a walk.
A walk? Hi, Oliver. So our drain's gonna run down under that cabinet and run between the floor and the bottom of the cabinets over to the bathroom. So next we need to saw a hole right here, which should be under the cabinets and behind the fridge. Wait, what is that? What am I hitting? Oh, it's the baseboard. Okay, through the baseboard. And we didn't hit the fridge. Courtney, it's like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Number 1 goal is to not get this black ABS glue all over the entire inside of this container. Put the glue on the pipe and fit them together. Pop it off. Now we can go that way. Oh no! Oh, I knew I was gonna do that. I just kicked the pipe glue. I'm gonna slide some spacers underneath the drain pipe to support it so that this end is higher than that end, and we've got about a 1/4 inch per foot of slope. Twist and twist. I'm talking jam nuts. Boom. Kitchen sink drain is done. Just like the drain plumbing, we're also running our supply plumbing under the cabinets. I think the only space that we've ever built where every inch counted even more was the truck camper. So I've only ever used the like push connect fittings, which I didn't like at all. Those ones made me nervous. I've used these pinch rings, but I've never used the like big crimp rings or the like fancy tool that somehow doesn't use any connectors. Drop it in the comments below. What's your favorite PEX plumbing tool to use? How does the hot water know to stay in the red pipe and the cold water know to stay in the blue pipe? Ah! Oh, I pinched my hand right in the web. And we are done with the kitchen plumbing. Next up is the plumbing vent. You might remember there's a pocket door on this wall which really prevents us from doing much plumbing, but I intentionally left a little gap right here in the wall to allow space for a plumbing vent up into here, up into our little soffit area, and out right here. We installed a pipe that I think is right here, and luckily I covered it in duct tape. Okay. Glad I don't have to do this very many times. Success! That goes out the exterior wall. We've got a 90, a 45, and then bam, into the wall. Next up, toilet flange. That's what makes up our floor. Flooring, OSB subfloor, foam insulation, and then the container floor. Kind of looks like a weird burger. I was going to use the hole saw, but I've been down that road before, so instead I'm going to cut a square hole with the grinder. Okay, toilet flange in. This is going to allow the toilet to exit out of this side and the rest of the drains to tie in underneath from the other side of the container. My phone's ringing. I'm just gonna have to wait because I've already put the glue on. Okay, here we go. Sliding this in. And all right, it went. I managed to get the plumbing that I had to get done before tomorrow done, and I think I'm gonna switch gears now because there's still a lot to do before the crane arrives tomorrow. Today is crane day. The crane should be here any minute. And yeah, I didn't sleep at all last night. I've been just like anxiously pacing around the house. So I finally came out here and just started doing stuff. Best case scenario, they pick up the tiny house, they move it into place, there's no drama. Worst case scenario, the tiny house flips upside down and lands on its lid and everything's destroyed.
I hadn't even considered that as a worst case scenario. In my mind, worst case scenario was like a window breaks.
The crane is here. Courtney, look. Oh man, that is a big crane.
It's happening. They're setting the crane up right now. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. I think he's gonna go over the building.
I have no idea what the plan is. They just got straight to work.
Oh my gosh. Riley couldn't be patient any longer and now he's helping. The container is off the ground.
I knew it was either gonna rip the roof off or it was gonna work.
It's very close to the building. Okay, he swung the container out of the way and now they're moving the trailer to get in a better position and then he's gonna swing it up onto the trailer. Riley's worried about our building.
Oh my goodness, this is insane. It's crazy just seeing the whole container up in the air.
This is wild. They just like plucked it up and they're setting it on the trailer now.
There was a last minute change of plans late last night to bring an extra truck and trailer and set the container on the trailer. That way they can pull the container way out of the way and reset the crane. Because otherwise we couldn't figure out how to get the crane turned around and the container out of the way at the same time. This is so freaking cool. I love Christmas, and this is like way better than any Christmas morning I've ever had. It's going good. Hey, we got it on the trailer, which I think that was actually the part I was most nervous about, because like the trailer's not level. And now they're gonna back the trailer down the driveway to get it out of the way so they can move the crane.
What if it falls off the trailer?
I was just thinking that. Are they gonna strap it down, or are we just going for it? Because it is sitting like metal on the back. I actually think I'm more nervous about the container on the trailer than I was when the container was in the air. Right on the edge. I was right on the edge of the road.
Oh my gosh.
I'm having a hard time not being the one in charge of the job, I'll tell you that much. It's hard to just sit here and watch.
I think it's fun.
I'm like, my fingers are clenched, but watching this operation, I'm really glad we didn't try to move this ourselves.
I feel like that other load was the warm-up and things are about to get real.
Yeah, my palms are sweaty. Barely fits. Like, we almost didn't make it on this project.
Wow.
There should be about 3 inches showing. Come my way more. That looks good.
I didn't realize that I've been holding my breath for the last hour until they set it down in place, but we still need to go inside. Who knows what happened inside? Hopefully we don't have any damage, but like, that was so cool. We need to build something else that needs a crane just so we can use a crane again.
Huge thank you to Ryan at GRT Crane for making this happen. Like, he definitely took a bit of a leap of faith on this project, just taking my word that they'd be able to get in here and get it done. And it turns out that we were this close to being over the max threshold of that crane when he was coming around and lifting it down onto the pads.
Should we go inside and see how it held up?
Do you think the coffee maker's still on the counter? I mean, step one, does the door still open? Oh, it's perfect. Come on in.
No freaking way.
Courtney, there's not even a crack in the corners.
There,
Like, the door's still shut. It's perfect.
You can't even tell that we moved it. Look at the view right here. Like, this looks cool? So stinking good.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Whoa! That looks pretty dark, Courtney.
I think we better go through.
Yeah.